Hey, playing 2 days in a row. That's got to be some kind of record for me. Actually, it's not. But, ooh, that's kind of cool looking. See what the back looks like. Dude, that is actually kind of neat looking. I mean, I don't like the helmet, but very armored looking. Very much either bounty hunter or trooper look. All right. Nah, not is what is on the cartel market for sale right now. It's expensive too. Holy cow. Look at that. 13,000. 1,300. I don't have to know my numbers. It's Sunday. Okay. So today, going to the Tytun rings. Yeah, and that's literally says Tytun. Spelled differently, but it says Titan. Of course, when I arrive there, I'm going to have to probably talk to my Holoterminal and tell me it's something totally different. I'm reading it wrong. Okay, who do I want? Oh, I know who I want with me.
Greetings, Master. You're looking fit and deadly, as always.
Okay. Stop talking to me, droid, unless you got something good to say. I don't remember most of these. It's been so long. Oh, I don't want Vector. I wanted... What? No, I didn't want travel. Companions. There we go. I wanted Temple.
Farewell.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, good. Say the electrostasis is shut off, which is good.
This is Watcher 6 to Cipher 9. You have accessed node 803A of the Titan Rings HoloNet archive. Transmitting mission parameters.
This is Watcher 7. Download data fragments from assigned terminals so we may decrypt and reconstruct the conspirator communication.
This is Watcher 9. You have authorization to terminate anyone who interferes. It is our privilege to work with you.
Okay. License to kill. Very James Bond-like. So it is Titan.
Get down!
All right, given that it's Sunday, no, I'm not going to go that one. It's a little too heavy of a topic. No, I was going to talk about, oh, you know what, might as well. Of course, I didn't go to church today because I'm an atheist. Yeah, I grew up, and I was raised actually a Baptist, and kind of became an atheist whenever I was an adult. Which anybody who's non-atheist and has misconceptions about them, because there are quite a few people that do, atheism doesn't mean that you worship Satan, and it doesn't mean that you are mad at some god or whatever. Atheism, it's very simple. It's just a lack of belief in a god or gods or a higher power or anything like that. That's all it is. Don't overthink it. I know there's a lot of people who do follow religion, and they basically look at it as an anti-religion thing. And it's not like it. Like I said, it's not. Oh, you're mad at Christianity. You're mad at Judaism. You're mad at people Islam. It's like that's not what that means. It means, like I said, it's... Hold on, let me access the terminal.
Accessing first data fragment. Applying preliminary decryption algorithm.
Got the call, but make it quick. I don't want to be missed.
93% likelihood speaker is designate Hunter.
Proceed with the operation, Cipher 9. We will continue reconstruction attempts.
Yeah, It looked to me 100% that it was Hunter. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, basically don't overthink it. Don't overthink atheism. An atheist is just somebody who does not believe in a god or higher power. Simple as that. So yeah, I'm one. I got a long story about why I became one. And, there's many different reasons. Because like I said, I was practicing whenever... Oh, let's get the SWTOR terminal. I'm going to get a cutscene for it, aren't I? Because I, raised Baptist.
Accessing second data fragment. Modifying decryption algorithm.
This will, of course, be my final appearance at these gatherings, but the galaxy I leave behind.
No voice print identification available. Reconstruction incomplete.
I know that name from somewhere. Is that guy from the Smuggler? Knock? I don't remember now. But yeah, whenever I was... In fact, it was kind of weird because I was one of the few people in my family after becoming an adult that actually pushed to go to church. And as a young adult, well, heck, even growing up, as my brothers and I, we went to church most Sundays. Okay, where do I go next? I go through that door. That's where I go next. We go to church almost every Sunday. Our mom didn't. She would go to church usually like on Easter or Christmas. There's people like that. There's a lot of people like that, actually. Major holidays, go to church. The rest of the time, nope.
Accessing third data fragment. Attempting playback.
My sympathies. With the old man lost, the next enforcer will be difficult to train.
Experiencing data corruption. We will hope the last fragment provides redundancy.
More droids. But yeah, so she would barely go to church. My brothers and I went a lot. In fact, kind of learned a lot a lot of stuff from church. But part of the reason how I started was as an adult, I found this nice church in Walla Walla, and I was getting a serious relationship with this woman that I was with, and we were talking about marriage and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I want to do Bible study, kind of learn, have the church's blessing kind of on the marriage. Hold on. Access this.
Accessing fourth data fragment. Splicing now.
I am here. All is ready.
This is Keeper. Cypher, get out of there. Reinforcements are on the way, and there's nothing more you can do.
On my way back to the ship.
The Watchers will try to reconstruct the holoconference back at headquarters. Come to Dromund Kaas as soon as possible, and we'll figure out our next move. Keep it out.
Alright, I'll find my way through. So yeah, I wanted to take the Bible study course, and the pastor, I mean, even now, he was a really nice guy. It was one of those good, well, I look back at a good church, where basically, it was a small town guy, had a small congregation. He basically ran the church out of his own pocket, because what it was paid for tithing, the 10%, whatever that Christians usually pay for at church, wasn't enough tax, for him to live on. So he, had a job over at the local, it wasn't Target, it was I think it was Safeco? No, not Safeco. No, I'm blanking. It was a store in the mall. It was a department store, but he had to, had to have a job. The first time I seen him outside the church, he was working. I'm like, oh, you work here? He's like, yeah. You gotta, take care of your family some way. You gotta make money some way. You automatically assume that people who, are with the church, they get paid by the church, and sometimes unless you have a very successful church, which is kind of weird to think of. And I don't know, I'm outside Christianity. I don't know if it's how common this is outside Christianity, but in Christianity, it's like there's a lot of mega churches out there and a lot of pastors and stuff that they make lots of money to the church. And honestly, I mean, to me, that's kind of soulless right there. That's just basically going, you're not in it.
Please use all products only as intended.
For the people, for your parishioners. You're in it to make money. You're in it to make a living, and that's not cool. But, you know, that's my way of looking at it. But anyways, yeah, so nice guy. I liked him. And I felt bad when I stopped going because when we started doing Bible study, I'd never read the Bible prior to, well, I'd read a little bit of it, but it kind of got me just going to, well, I'm going to read the Bible. Dromund Kaas. And I hunkered down and started reading it, you know, from cover to cover. And anybody who's kind of, you know, there was always a, well, the Bible's written by, you know, God, and and you start reading it, and I'm like, there's so many gaps and inconsistencies in this book. And I can understand some of it due for translation, but then I brought up with the pastor, and he's like, oh, well, you're not supposed to read it straight through. Well, why not? No, you're supposed to have somebody who interprets it for you. Oh, that seems weird. You know, kind of my logical brain going, well, yeah, but wouldn't you think that something written by, you know, this almighty entity for their people should be kind of straightforward, like, hey, I wrote this down, this is for everybody, here you go, this is my word, and not have to go, but you can't read it without a special key, without someone interpreting it for you. And that just kind of got me down the path. That started me right there. It's like start questioning a lot of stuff at that point, going, huh, well, that seems strange. And then, of course, you know, there was more stuff to it. There's, you know, it was a slow progression, but it took, you know, over years, I started questioning more and more stuff, and like, okay, what about this? What about that? And yeah, at the end of it, I was kind of like, well, this is just kind of BS. Honestly, this is not.
Destination. Enjoy your stay.
None of this really makes sense when it comes down to it. If you really look at it, I mean, if you just follow it and you decide not to really take a deep look at it, and you don't really, you know, oh, well, things are mysterious, you have to leave it alone. Okay, fine, that's whatever. It works. But the moment you start going, huh, well, what about this? What about that? Well, no, I can't just take it all in faith. I need more than just a faith. I think that's probably the biggest thing right there is I need more than just faith. For me to go, yeah, I'm just going to have to trust that everything you told me is true. I don't need, and nobody else is able to back it up, and you don't have like, you don't have a peer tested review. You don't have this. It's like, I can't do that. I can't be a blind faith. I can't do that. And that's what it requires. A lot of religion requires that. So eventually, you know, at first it started the question of religion. Then I was like, after questioning religion, then I started questioning the actual, the whole higher being God thing. And it's like, okay, well, now this doesn't really make sense, because then even without the religion, you start thinking about some of the stuff around there, like, well, that really doesn't make sense either. Huh. In fact, it's all about the faith. It's all about somebody telling you something and you going, okay, yeah, I have to believe, I just believe you. You have no proof of any of this. I can not find proof of any of this. We have only what other people have said, and we're taking that as simply, this must be the truth. And then whenever somebody does question it, you're just pointing back to something else that somebody else said. That None of it, there's no proof. There's no way for me to verify this with somebody else. There's no like a scientific method, there's no peer review. I'm going all the way to the keeper. I think I'm going, oh no, I'm going that way. Okay, that's different. See, that was kind of how I became an atheist, and it just, after a while, just melded away. And I was like, yeah, just don't, there's nothing to believe. There's no reason for me to believe it.
Utilize fractal thought pattern 27. Reanalyze.
Come in. They're reconstructing the Conspirators Holoconference now.
Anything turn up so far?
Preliminary analysis bears out our theory. The call was initiated by Hunter, somewhere in the Bremer sector 6 months ago. The recording you pulled is intact, but... Watcher 9?
Splicing and decryption complete.
Rules of the Chorus Covenant. I call this meeting to order.
Spare us the corporate posture and report.
Since you're in a hurry, Senator Varala and Representative Shuru are predictable as always.
And Commodore?
All taken care of. What about you? Those earnest Padawans keeping you up at night?
Different participants on different data streams. Processing.
There's Hunter. What about the others?
I don't know.
Domain is unsettled, as we expected. I must again raise the concern. Do we overplay our hand?
There is the chance it will spin out of control. Darth Angral, Darth Barris, now the children are awakening.
For each, there is a Republic counterbalance.
We're letting loose the reins, but we're not taking off their blinders. Sit back and enjoy the spectacle.
Is that it?
To bicker. Each of us agreed to the timetable. Each of us reports success in our own sphere.
Ambition must never be our master. Patience serves our noble cause best. But if our enforcer approves...
I do, I swear.
Then we move forward to Armageddon.
What in the...
Keeper? The War Council needs you. Sir?
Ah!
Okay.
We have a breach. No one leaves, understood?
Yes, sir. Security and medical help is on the way.
What's our status?
Keeper and the others are on life support. Fixers theorized the transmission had a hidden overlay. A code or image only a genetically enhanced mind could recognize. Designed to overwhelm and shut down the brain.
They knew it would take an enhanced mind to find the data. This was insurance against that possibility.
Losing this many analysts, forget about Keeper. It's going to be a blow to the war. I'll support you where I can, but right now I've got a few dozen field agents without handlers. Your operation.
You'll hear from me when I'm ready.
While you were on Belsavis, Keeper was compiling leads on the planet Voss. If you want to head there, I'll see what I can pull up. I've apprised the Minister of Intelligence. If he needs to contact you, he knows how.
I didn't know them well, but I'm sorry, sir. We'll hunt down the people who did this.
Oh, I totally forgot I was taking Reyna there. I meant to take Khalil. Well, it's a good thing they haven't said anything about her having the force sensitivity. But then again, they might not. It might not be in the... They might just make it game day. The secret society of lizard people. The game developers may have had written it so nothing actually happens to her or the doctor if I bring him. Which is good, because that'd be kind of weird to bring your companion, then your companion get jailed. Like, oh, I like them. What the heck? But anyway, yeah, so I, eventually the road down the path and became an atheist and I do admit at first it was, and I totally could have taken And I'll take the regular
Destination?
Every time I hear that, I want to say destination unknown.
Enjoy your stay.
At the beginning, I was kind of like mad because I'm like, how dare, I'd be lied to all these years. And essentially that's what it feels like, because it is, it's kind of, it's a lie, but it's not, I wouldn't, this is what I came to realize, not everybody knows it's a lie, and the people who indoctrinate usually go for the young people. That's why children are always important, and they, because you start out young and you don't know any better, and my game is jumping. What in the world's going on? Just not. Yeah, it's just the game itself, so my mouse is moving fine. But yeah, you start out young and you go ahead and get people indoctrinated inside because that's all they know. And you follow up with fellowship. Fellowship, which is actually not a bad thing in itself because, people like to be around other people. But you get people around other people who help, not really embrace, the word's not embrace, but basically kind of they basically go ahead and like, oh, I believe this, you believe it, reinforce, that's it. They help reinforce the belief. Because you don't want to be the odd one out, especially when your friends and family all believe the same thing. And all of a sudden you're going, I don't believe it. And they're like, what do you mean you don't believe it? Why wouldn't you believe it? We all believe it. And we're sane. And we're not crazy. And, oh, well, then maybe what I'm believing is, maybe I'm wrong then. And it's kind of structured this way. But then again, like I said, they don't know. Because they're taught from a young age too. Everybody's taught from a young age that this is what you should believe. And yeah, there's questioning, and some of them question it, but which is always good for questioning, is always good, but the question usually doesn't happen very far. It doesn't get very far because you go right back to what you've learned. What's comfortable for you? Same way that, women who usually are victims of domestic abuse, how they will sometimes not only go back to their abuser in the first place, but sometimes they'll go and be with other men who have the same qualities and will abuse them too, because as humans, we're creatures of habit. We form these habits, bad habits, good habits, and we find these comfortable spots. Well, it's comfortable going back to it, going, well, maybe I'm wrong to question it because it's more comfortable for me just to go ahead and accept and believe it.
Hail to the Emperor! More importantly, hail to you, Master.
Damn straight. Talk about worship? Okay, let me do this Holoterminal real quick.
Cypher, hope you don't mind my checking in. You weren't expecting any other calls?
Hunter, my good friend. Who would I rather talk to?
I'm hoping no one. I get jealous. Your visit to Mega Security Ward 23 left it in bad shape. Now do I come into your house and break your things? But you finding that holotrap? Frying your keeper's synapses? That's kind of cosmic justice.
I saw you meeting with some sort of council. Who were they?
Old friends of mine. You'd like them, but they're shy. Cypher, it's been fun. Playing tag, brainwashing you. Remember your keyword? But you keep coming, and we'll destroy your world. No friends, no allies, no empire left to fight for. Are you ready for that?
You're assuming I don't stop you first. This is Cypher 9 to crew. Prepare for takeoff.
Yeah, I had to be really flippant with him. All right, let's hit the boss. I'm about 25 minutes in. But yeah, it is a setup. Religion itself is just a giant setup, unfortunately, and it could be for good things, and sometimes it is for good things. But it's also being exploited a lot too, but that's not why I'm an atheist. That's just, me.
This is Watcher 3 to Cypher 9. Things are a little chaotic without Keeper, so I need a minute to pull our files on Voss. In the meantime, I did want someone more familiar, but...
Apologies for the wait. Playing catch-up with our friends in the diplomatic service, but we think we can brief you.
I didn't realize we had an expert on board.
The diplomatic service has more experience with Voss than anyone. Certainly more than me.
We never served on Voss personally. It's a newly discovered world, home to a simple humanoid civilization. One species, one government, one city. Voss Ka.
Primitive. They didn't even have spaceflight when we made first contact.
But they have art and laws and culture. More importantly, they have citizens who can use the Force. Not Jedi or Sith, but something different.
New Force users could change the balance of power.
The Voss Force sensitives are called mystics. They're healers and fortune-tellers, utterly revered and considered infallible. We want the Voss and the mystics to ally with the Empire. The Republic is petitioning them too, yet they remain stubbornly neutral.
Of course, half the galaxy has spies there. Who wouldn't? Keeper's files clearly indicate conspirator involvement, but no names or details. All I've got are instructions for a meet.
So I'm going in blind, or give me a lead?
I'll take the bait. What was her plan?
There's a teahouse in Voss Ka proper. You're supposed to wait for a contact. He'll identify himself with the phrase, anew as the spring. I don't know who he is, or whether Keeper told him about the Star Cabal, but he'll know more than I do.
Assuming he's in one piece.
Assuming that, Watcher 3 out.
We'll await your instructions.
Alright, so do I take Vector with me, or do I take Temple with me? Because Vector knows some stuff, but not everything. I'll take Temple with me. Oh, it looks like I got some more companion stuff, conversations to have, but not at the moment. But yeah, you know, like I said, religion. Oh, that is an old animation of Voss. I think they have a new one, but that's an old one. But yeah, I mean, not saying religion is all bad. There are some good things that have happened from religion. Well, I take it back. Not from religion, but from organizations, religious organizations. That's what I should say, because that's more accurate. But sometimes it feels, I don't know, this is just maybe my conspiracy brain, that sometimes these organizations also put people in positions to be vulnerable to, so they will take assistance from religious organizations. And you're going, wait, what? Okay, so let me back up here. Like how many homeless shelters and soup kitchens and stuff like that are run by religious organizations. And while the ones who are actually running them may not be the ones doing it, there are other organizations out there that are religious, that are getting people into situations where they are homeless and they need help. They need to go to soup kitchens and stuff like that. Again, not saying, because the people who are serving and helping out, they're doing all the good. They think they're doing a great thing, and at least I assume they are. I'm assuming they're being good people. That this is the goodness of their heart. They're doing it because they really want to help people out. Well, I'm sure on the other hand, on the same thing, there's somebody else that's causing. This looks familiar. I think this is the way. This is Knights of the Fallen Empire, or the Battle of Voss. Yeah, this looks familiar from there. Okay, but they're kind of helping, rather than going, okay, well, we need to cure homelessness. They're like, well, no, we help push. We help push. What's it called? Not the narratives, but we help push legislation and other things to kind of that will result in people being homeless and people needing assistance. See, like you're building this rather than going, you're not curing it all, you're creating it so you can treat it. if you know what I'm talking about. And that's, that's messed up.
Come in, outsider. You seek the alien enclave. The way isn't always clear.
Yanaton, tea for the guest.
Which tea?
All of them, until he finds one that suits him. I am Bas-Ton. This is my tea house. Forgive my daughter. We should start anew as the spring.
You're very kind. Is there somewhere we can talk?
When tea is ready, host the others. This man is a friend of a good friend. I will share his time.
I'll leave you two alone. I've never seen this planet before.
Don't worry. The family won't bother us, and no one else suspects. Living with these creatures for 5 years earns some credibility.
That's either quite a disguise or you're Voss yourself.
Our employers surgically altered me to look like the real Bas-Ton. The only way to infiltrate a closed society. I got to know my family, raise children, kiss my wife. I don't care how exotic they look, their breath always smells like Minok dung. It's some spice in the blasted food.
I'm operating on limited information. Why am I here?
My orders were to find you a lead on Albathius, a human who showed up a few years ago. Voss called him the Shining Man. Where he came from is a mystery. But it only took him 5 weeks to go from outsider to practically Voss. Went through a dozen rites to earn their respect. Knew their culture inside and out. Knew their politics. Textbook infiltration. Impossibly perfect.
Craft is one thing, but you make it sound like he worked miracles.
Other people tried what he did, went through Voss initiations. At best, they got a pat on the head, like a pet learning a trick. The Shining Man was something different. The Voss believed in him, and he played them perfect. Then he died peacefully, buried with honors. No one's touched the case much since, so if you want to learn what the Shining Man was up to, you've got a nasty job. Start with the tomb.
What does died peacefully mean?
It means he went to his home in Voss car one night and didn't wake up. Heart condition, they said. Tombs at the base of the mountain, holiest place a non-Voss can be interred. Predators keep the area clear these days. If you want to go in as a pilgrim, I've left clothes and instructions at a dead drop. Give me a call once you're in.
Third Ton returns at sunset.
Our family must prepare a welcome. We will speak again.
I wonder if the Mystics had anything to do with that. Alright, so about 30 minutes in. Should I stop here or should I keep going? You know what? I'm going to at least go to... Wait, there's a canteen around here, isn't there? Straight ahead. I'll go to the canteen and I'll wrap it up. But yeah, like I said, that's the whole reason why that kind of came up, besides the fact that it was Sunday, and which a lot of people worship on Sunday, is the fact my wife was talking about. People come to the door, she's watching this YouTube video, and I've had, Mormons, I think I mentioned that before, I have Mormons that have had Jehovah's Witnesses come to our door. I've had people just from regular churches come to our door, try to, oh, come to our church. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, no, thank you. Just, no, thank you. Not a, because apparently she's watched this video, and guys went to the store, this one guy, and they were like giving away money, and no items are available. What? And the guy just came out heated and yelling at him, stuff like that. I'm like, hey, even to religious groups, I'm nice. And they come to the door, and I'm just like, hey, how's it going? When to start you guys off so you don't waste your time. I'm an atheist. It just, I know you're out doing your thing, and I want you to I want to make sure that you're not going to waste your time with me or my family. Just, you know, I'm an atheist. We're not going to go to church. I was, you know, religious at some point. I'm looking to see if there's anything else. I don't need any of these. Because, you know, honestly, at the end of the day, you know, they have not done anything. These people have not done anything personally wrong to me. I'm not going to be a jerk to them. They're going out to something they believe, and whether or not I believe in it or I even support it, I'm not going to be a jerk about it. And they haven't wronged me anyway, personally. So, but anyway, that's what I want to talk about today. And I know it probably upset maybe a few people watch it who is very religious. But, you know, that's great. If you're religious, be religious. I don't care. But I don't force my atheism on you, and I'm not going to please don't force your religion on me, and we will get along just fine. And with that, that's the end of this video. Let's see if it gets pulled off of YouTube. All right. Thanks, and hope to see you all again.